What's up guys, Syiler here, and a lot of you have been asking about my new UI. So it is not LUI. I've gone away from LUI just because LUI is a bit kind of standard nowadays, and it is pretty intensive for what it is. It's a very big UI. It looks cool, but I feel it's got a lot of wasted space and just wasn't suiting what I wanted anymore. So now that I've become a raid leader, I wanted to be able to see a lot more and be able to manage what other people are doing a lot more. So I started looking for a new UI, and the new UI that I'm using is Syiui. It's an adaptation of an old outdated UI called PGUI. So you can either download my version or you can go back and find PGUI, just PGUI. Download that and then you can update it and go from there. But if you want to download my new customized and updated version, then feel free to carry on watching and I'll show you what it looks like and how to install it. So the reason I've not released it yet, and I didn't really want to release it yet anyway because it's not quite finished. It's a bit of a pain in the ass to set up, and there's still some areas that it doesn't work properly. But overall, it's 99% there. It just needs to be easy to install, and it needs to be easier, there needs to be a couple of bug fixes essentially. So if you're unfamiliar with what the UI looks like, it looks like this. This is a little bit of an older screenshot, but this gives you an idea of what the UI actually looks like. So you've got like the bars, the grid on the right hand side that'll fill up with your raid when you're going to a raid. Then you've got your unit frames in the middle and things like that. So I'll show it a little bit more in depth later on, but this just gives you an idea of whether you want the UI. So you'll download this file, and there'll be a link in the description, and this will be a link to Syiui. So inside this, you'll find your fonts, your interface, and your WTF folders. So where you'll install these, you'll find your World of Warcraft folder, and mine is located here. So this is my World of Warcraft folder. Yours will be located probably in like or program files, World of Warcraft, or your game file, wherever you've basically set it to be installed, it will be there. And then find your World of Warcraft folder. Even if you don't know where it is, you can just literally go to computer and use the search function and search for World of Warcraft. So now that we've got that, inside your World of Warcraft folder, I'd recommend making a backup of your interface and your WTF. You make a backup by selecting them both, copying, and then pasting them to somewhere outside of the folder that you want to keep them. And then that way, if you don't like the new UI, you can always go back to your old one very easily just by deleting the new one and copying back the old one. So we've made a backup of that, let's say. And then I'd also make a backup of or take a note of your account name. So if you go inside the WTF, go inside account, this here is your account name. So make sure you note this down because you will need this later on. So now that we've got everything we need, you would delete your fonts, your interface, and your WTF. And you would copy across the fonts, interface, and WTF from the Syiui folder. So we'd copy that across. I'm not going to do that because mine's already installed. And imagine that is it copied across and installed. So if we go inside the WTF, go inside account, it will say account name. So that account name that I told you to note down before, you'll have to reuse now. So there's mine. Make sure it is in caps. So that's my account name done. And if we click inside that folder, there'll be a folder called server. So you want to put the server that you're currently playing on. So mine will be Stormscale. And then if we go inside that one, we'll find one called character name. And we're going to rename that to Syiler. So that is the basic setup done. You can do more than one character now. So if I've got multiple characters on Stormscale, all I'll do is copy that character, copy that folder, and then rename it to like Syisan. And there you go, that's the second character, nice and quickly done. Or if you've got one on a different realm, copy the realm folder, rename that to whatever your character is on, and then go inside and rename the Syiler folder, or copy the Syiler folder, whichever one way around, and rename it to the new character, so Tom, whatever, And there you go, that is it set up on 2 different servers and 2 different characters. So then we're going to log in, so let me actually set up one for a new character. So we'll do, I need a character that I haven't played on yet. Let me think. So we're going to go on to Alonzus. Whoops. And I'll do my rogue. So That's the only one that I can actually remember the name of. SND, Slice and Dice. So that is that done. So now we can actually log on to the game. So this UI is made for a 1920 by 1080 UI. So please make sure you're using that resolution, otherwise you might find some issues. You can try it if you're not using 1920 by 1080, but that is the preferred setup for this UI. If you find that it's not fitting properly, you can go to Advanced, and then here there'll be a option for UI scale when you actually log into the game. Obviously it's not here now that I'm not logged in, but once you're logged in, if you go to your options, you'll find it there. So we're going to log in. We're going to go to Alonzus, and we're going to log into my Rogue. So now we'll actually need to set up the add-ons. So this is the part that I said, you know, the UI isn't too straightforward to set up. It does take a little bit of work. So if you do want a bit of work for your UI, then this is definitely one for you. As you can see, the majority of it is set up. There's still a few things that are a bit all over the place, but it isn't too much of an issue. So we're going to first of all go to Interface. We're going to go to Add-ons. We're going to go to Bagon. And Bagon is already fully set up and ready to go. So next up, Chinchilla Map. You want to go to Profiles. You want to go to Existing Profile and copy from Syiui. And there you go, my map is now sorted. Next up, Dominoes. Click the plus, go to Profiles and click Syiui and Set. And that's that done. Easy Mail is already done. EPGP is an add-on you can get rid of. You don't actually need EPGP. That's more for my raid leading. The same with Loggerhead is something else you wouldn't really need. Mask, we're going to go to Profiles. And we're going to go to Syiui. And also make sure preloaded options is ticked. Mixed scrolling battle text should already be set up. But if it's not, just go to Current Profile and set it to Syiui. And that is that one done. Next up, nib chat tabs. Go to Config, go to Profiles, and then Syiui. And that's that done. No combo bar is fine. OmniCC is fine. Pitbull will need a bit of configuration, so go to Profiles, go to Syiui, and then that is that one done. Prat, go to Profiles, Syiui. Quartz isn't set up, so go to Profiles and Syiui once again. Silver Dragon, that's fine, that's already ready to go. I mean, you can copy the Syiui. Oh no, there's no Syiui for that, that's fine. SCADA, go to Profiles, and that one is already set up as it is, so we can ignore that one. Skinner is fine as well. Tell me when is not set up, so we're going to go to that. You can actually disable tell you when if you don't want it. It isn't, you know, most people aren't going to find it extremely useful, so it's up to you if you actually want that there. Tidy plates should already be set up as well. So there's one more add-on, oh sorry, there's two more add-ons that we need to do. So do /grid, go to Profiles, and then go to Syiler. That one isn't Syiui, unfortunately. And then finally do /raven, as you'd expect it to be spelt. And then go to Profiles, and then Syiui. And there we go, that is the majority of the UI set up. Now, there's a couple of things that you might want to change. For example, see this box on the left-hand side? That is for my target charm. So let me go to a dummy and I'll show you what I mean by that. So it will take me a second to get to a dummy. But basically, target charms is for my raid marking. So if I target, no, I guess it doesn't work for them. But if you do /TargetCharms Setup, you'll get this pop up. This is essentially your target charm. So as you can see, it's popped up now, it's showing it. When you go into a group, it will show this. And this allows you to easily ready check and easily mark and target things. So I can easily put down the world markers, I can easily put down the targets, and it's just something I use for raid leading. So it's not going to be useful for everyone. I mean, obviously I find it useful because I raid lead, but for the majority of people, you probably won't find that a very useful add-on to pick up. So if you don't want that, you can easily disable it by turning it off or doing /TargetCharms Setup, and then you can just literally hide. Go hide on every single one, and it'll never show it again. But then you might be like, well, this box is still here, I don't want this box. That's very easy to get rid of as well. If you do kgpanels config, then you'll get the kgpanels pop up. And if you go to active panels, and then you want to find the not the BG targets. We want... where is it? Icons. If you go to icons, this is the one that we want to get rid of. So just literally click remove panel and that will remove the panel. That panel will no longer be there. So go down to icon and click remove and that will completely get rid of that panel. So we'll no longer have that there. And then that should be pretty much everything you need set up. So it isn't too difficult, and then from there, you know, you can do your bars and things like that. If you're unfamiliar how to use dominoes, do /dom. For some reason that brought up tidy place. Dom. That's not working. Anyway, go to add-ons and go to dominoes, and then you can configure the bars from here. So it allows me to move the bars, you know, resize them, do whatever I need to do. And you can move the roll box if you don't want it there, all those kind of things. And on top of that, we can also do the key binding. So if I want to change a key binding, I'm not really happy with the way the keys are bind, I don't like Syiler's key bindings, you can come here and re-key bind your keys. Now the other thing that you might want to change is DBM. My DBM set up so I can actually, you know, it comes to the middle of my screen so that I can see something that's about to go off and I can tell people, you know, it's right there, I don't need to look somewhere else. So it's right there, and that does its job essentially. So you can move that and change that if you don't, you know, you're not happy with that. It's not a problem. Is there any lower level dummies here? I don't think there is. I just wanted to build up a combo point so you can see the combo points as well. Oh, there we go. So there's where the combo points are all pair. Now there's two sets. You might need to remove the Pitbull version. So as you can see, both the Pitbull and my own version are popping up there. So that's not a problem, we can easily get rid of that. If you go down to Pitbull, it's up to you which one you want to actually keep. If you want to keep the grid based one, so if you want to keep the yellow one, then you want to disable the red one. If you want to keep the red one and disable the yellow one, I'll show that now. So we're first of all going to disable the yellow one. If you go to Pitbull, go to standard config and go to modules. Sorry, go to units. No, it is modules, it's lying to me. Go to modules, and then you want to find your combo point bar. So find that, and then you want to disable it. Why is it still staying? Not really sure. Might need to reload UI, but either way, that should be gone. And if you want to get rid of the one that I've got, then you go to Nug combo bar, and you'll disable this add-on in the add-ons list, and that will get rid of that as well. That might actually be a part of Raven. No, I don't think it is. Wait. Maybe it is? No, it's not. I lied. So there you go. That is essentially the UI setup, and that's pretty much everything you'll need to know. I might have missed out a couple of things, but hopefully this has helped you, and hopefully you enjoy my UI. Now, I will be working on this UI, so keep a lookout for updates. I'll probably make it a WoW interface page just so it's easier to download and update. So keep an eye out for that, for updates and things like that for the future. Remember, if the UI does go out of date at any point, don't worry. All you need to do is go to add-ons and click load out of date add-ons, and that will cause everything to work as normal. So if that does happen for you now, just literally come to this and click load out of date add-ons, and that will get everything working for you. And there's a few add-ons that you can get rid of. Big Brother is one that you shouldn't need unless you're raid leading. EPGP is one that you shouldn't need. Magic Runes is for DK, so if you are a DK you can enable that. Safe Queue is something you shouldn't need. Silver Dragon, if you don't want that, you shouldn't need it. DBM depends on what raid mod you're using. Loggerhead is something else you wouldn't need. And Bag Brother is something you can keep, actually, that's for your bags. CLC Ret is a final thing you shouldn't need unless you're a Ret Paladin, you want the first come first serve. So there you go, that is the UI essentially set up. As I said, if you've got any questions regarding the UI, please feel free to ask them and I'll get around to them as soon as possible, and I will be trying to frequently update this UI and keep it up to date and making good changes to it, hopefully to make it easier to install in the future. So thanks for watching, guys, look out for more videos coming soon. See ya!